Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this. Beautiful, beautiful people. Welcome back to the vlog, to the YouTube. We are just going to be doing a little bit of a weekend in the life this weekend because why not? That's what this fucking whole YouTube is. It's just me documenting my life. This weekend is an exciting weekend because it's my last weekend before I go on my holidays next week. So I just thought, why not take you along, show you what like kind of a typical weekend in my life looks like. Obviously it's not always like holiday prep and stuff like that, but I thought it would just be interesting to show. So it is Saturday morning. You will have already seen I woke up, did my health metric checking, always check my blood pressure and my fasting blood glucose at least once a week. Super important if you are an athlete, but especially an assisted athlete, that you are checking these things. Okay. Then I just did some study, onboarded a new client, and now I'm doing my check-in for the week. So you will have just seen that. I think my head was cut off. I'll insert a few little clips, but I'm pretty sure my head was cut off, so it's fine. You don't need to see the face. It's not about my face. It's about my freaking body. But yeah, obviously wrapping up my 6-week push-up phase this weekend. A few more days of training, and then we will be deloading on the sunny white island of Ibiza, which is not going to be very recovering because I'm just going to be raving the whole time and probably not eating a whole lot of food. So yeah, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Plan of action this weekend. I'm getting my hair done, getting my nails done today. I'm so fucking excited. I'm going to train legs tomorrow and just getting ahead on like any work bits before I go away so that when I go away, I can actually fucking chill out. So yeah, just did my check-in. Few tips for anybody who wants to know how to take really fucking good progress pictures, because I've been doing this a long time and I've cracked the code. So I'll show you my like check-in setup. So you'll see here, we basically have like this clothing rail with a black photography blind. You can get these on Amazon, or you can just get like a black sheet, but you want a dark background so that there's no shadows cast by you. This is going to absorb any shadows that are cast by you. And then you will see here that we have our window. Look at that, isn't that fucking gorgeous? I love where I live. Natural light coming in. So basically, ideally, when you're doing check-in pictures, natural light is always going to be the best if you can use it, but you also just want to make sure that the light source that you have is in front of you. So it's basically like light source, camera, you. Okay, you don't want any lights behind you. If there's any lights behind you, it's gonna cast shadows. It's just gonna be really hard to see like your physique properly. So if you can have a window in front of you so that the light is just shining on you, or if you're using like a softbox or a ring light, just make sure it's literally coming from directly in front of you. If there's any other lights in the room, turn them off. If there's any doors or windows, make sure that they're like closed, sealed. All right, and then that's how you get the best check-ins. And then another thing is you can do like a video and screenshot. Always use the back camera on your phone. Don't use the front camera. It's shit. Nothing infuriates me more than when people use the front camera. Always use the back camera. But if you can get one of these, if you can get a Bluetooth clicker to take pictures with your phone rather than video, it's just going to be better quality. And ultimately, the better the quality of the pictures, the easier it is to assess your physique, right? Obviously, this is more so for things like competitors, but you know, even if you're not a competitor, you just want to document your journey. You want to document it the best that you can, right? So those are my like top tips for taking really good check-in pictures. Because like I said, at this point, I haven't fucking nailed. What the fuck? Why is that vein in my head so popping? Okay, sis. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up, and then I'm gonna go and do my cardio, which I will take you with me for that. And also, I just want to say thank you all so much for all of the love on the first video. I really was not expecting it to get any views at all, but it has been getting views. People seem to be interested in my weird little life. So if you do enjoy the videos, please don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, comment on the video, tell me who you are and where you're from. I don't know. Tell me something, okay? But yes, I will catch you later. Okay, I'll always do some sort of a hydration thing when I do my cardio because, as we know, it's really fucking hot in Spain and I sweat like a lot. And obviously when you sweat, you're losing electrolytes. So I just drink something during my cardio that gives me some electrolytes. So this is the Conte Hydroflow. I got this the other day. This is the orange flavor. What's it called? Orange soda. Kale loves orange soda. If you know what I'm talking about, you're real. But this tastes really fucking good. Like, honestly, obsessed. And I'll just like drink it during the days. Just nice to have something that's like flavoured when I'm doing my cardio. Just because. Also, I know that this house, we rent this house, and I know it was meant for us because when we moved in, they already had these little funnels, which like you need for this. Like, it's like we were destined to be here. I love it. Alright, so I'm headed to the gym. I currently do cardio twice a week. I have two 30-minute cardio sessions that I do in the Stairmaster. I discovered the Stairmaster when I was doing my photo shoot prep, my mini cut. Fucking love it. For years I refused to do the Stairmaster, but now I am obsessed. But basically, I was doing 5 sessions a week. Now I do 2. Some days, some weeks I should say, some weeks I don't get the second one done, and that's just because the gym only opens at 9 on a Saturday morning, and I obviously always do it fasted and stuff. And if I have plans, like if I want to go and do something on a Saturday and I want to go out early, I don't have time to go and do my cardio, come home, shower, eat and shit like that. So there's been a few weeks, like 1 or 2 weeks, that I haven't gotten the second session done, which I don't really care too much about. Neither does my coach. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, whatever, just if you get it done, you get it done. Obviously cardio in off season, really important for heart health. That's why I do it, so that I can be healthy and fit. It also does really help with your performance in the gym, doing things like higher rep sets and shit like that. Like, I don't want to be gassed out on a set of 15 on the hack squat. You know, it's hard enough on my muscles. If I'm doing it, I want my muscles to fail, not my heart and my lungs. So that's why I still do cardio. But yeah, like 1 to 2 sessions a week and like 10,000 steps a day. I'm pretty happy with that activity wise. I don't want my activity to be massively high, especially before I prep, right? Like, I want to be able to add activity in rather than already doing 15,000 steps and loads of cardio. So that's where we're currently at. So I'm on the way now, and I'm gonna sweat my absolute balls off, and I can't wait. And then I'm gonna go get my hair done later and my nails done, and it's just gonna be glorious. It's gonna be a glorious fucking Saturday. Okay, yeah, that was sweaty. Although, do you know what? Like, as much as I don't love sweating like a pig, especially when you're doing cardio. It just makes it like hit a bit different. Like, I kind of love doing cardio in the heat because I just feel like I've worked harder for whatever reason. Like, if I'm doing cardio, I feel like I should be sweating afterwards. You know, like, it should be, your cardio should be fucking cardio. I mean, like, at least in my opinion, it should be, all right? Like, you should be having to push yourself. So yeah, also the towel on the seat is an absolute necessity. I just literally just got this car after such a process of trying to get it, but now I have it, and I love it, guys. But I don't want my seats, like, we literally sweat, like, obviously so much. Every time we get in the car, we're dripping wet. So I was like, no, we need towels in the car. We are not getting my lovely fucking car all smelly and sweaty. So towels. We have many of them in the car. So yeah. Oh, feel great now. I can't wait to get my hair done. Oh, and I also am very excited to get my lashes and brows done. That's Monday. But I literally, every time that I usually just get my lashes refilled, like, constantly, so I never really am without them. But because I was going away, I was like, right, I'll just wait to get them done properly before I go. And every time they're falling out, I'm like, maybe I'll come to like the no lash look, like the clean girl aesthetic. And then I realise I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to look fake as fuck. Fake as fuck. That's what I want to look. I don't want to look natural. No. Alright, so came home from cardio, had my breakfast, which is the same breakfast as a training day. So if you haven't already watched my full day of eating, the last video, you can go back and watch that. It was chef's kiss. Went out on a walk because I just wanted to get my steps, like try and hit close to my steps as quickly as possible. We always try and just get a good bit of activity in early in the day because the temperature goes up. Still sweating absolute balls, but it's kind of nice. There's a bit of a breeze today, so you don't quite feel like you're being cooked alive. But like I said, I'm getting my hair done, so I'm gonna have my lunch before I go. But I just prepped, or I'm just prepping some baked dough cookies to bring with me because I'm getting my nails and my hair done all together, so I'm gonna be there for like 4 or 5 hours, and I won't survive that long without food. So the baked dough cookies are just so good for like just bring with you. Like I have no problem with like prepping a whole meal, bringing it with me and eating it in a hairdresser's. I don't really care, but this would be what I would kind of have for my third meal anyway. I think we're gonna go out for dinner tonight, so of course I'll show you that if we do. But yeah, these are like staple. I filmed like how I make them and stuff. I'll maybe put the recipe on the screen, but the blueberry and dark chocolate combo is very good. I also love doing them with banana and Biscoff. Either way, it's a great way to meal prep oats. I don't like oats normally. I hate like a bowl of oats. Ugh. See the way I said I don't like soggy cereal in the last video? Bowls of oats are they're worse. Sick. So I guess I'm not a real bodybuilder because I don't like oats, maybe. But either way, oat cookies I can get on board with. So I'm just gonna cook those, and then I have a bit of work to do. I'm going to do up one of my photo shoot clients post prep plan because she's doing her shoot in 2 weeks, and I want to make sure she knows exactly what she's doing afterwards, which is really fucking important. And just a few other work bits, and then I guess I'll catch you in the salon, although I don't know if I'm gonna bring the camera with me. I don't know if we're there yet, but either way, you'll see the transformation from this kind of drab hair. To be fair, my hair is very long, so I'm not getting a cut, but it's gonna be dark. And this is the finished product. Oh, how good do they look? Stunning. Gorgeous. They're going in the bag along with the monster. Necessary reinforcements for my appointment. Okay, and we are fresh dark. Oh, I always feel like a powerful bitch with fresh dark hair. Although annoyingly, I got my nails done, but there was traffic when I was on the way there, so I ended up being like 15 minutes late for my appointment, and they were like, oh, we won't have time to do like acrylics or extensions, which is what I'd booked in for. And I was like, that's no problem, you know, you can just do like a gel polish. And she just did like this, and she never asked me about colours or anything. And because I'm Irish, I don't do like confrontation or asking back. So I was just like, okay, thank you. I mean, they're fine. Like, I guess they're clean, but it's not quite what I had in mind. But whatever, it's fine. I'm happy with the hair. That's the main thing. going for dinner. Smile. We are in an Asian restaurant, which is usually our favorite. It's usually our go-to, and we've ordered. To be fair, she didn't try and say that we'd ordered too much.
No.
It's a common occurrence when we go to restaurants and order that they say that's too much, and we're always like, it's not too much. We just have two big appetites, two bodybuilders. I will show you all the food when it comes. So first course is chicken wings. We've got some bros wings. We've got some honey garlic wings. We've got duck gyozas. We've got chicken gyozas, and we've got a happy shame. Honestly, fuck me up. Very mean gyozas. Thank you. It's chicken, beef, fried rice. We got some veggies. Full thing. Nice. Delicious. That's really nice. That was delicious.
It was very nice. Yes. I enjoyed it very much.
We like Asian food.
Yes.
We're simple. We basically go out.
Gyozas.
We go out to eat the foods that we usually cook ourselves.
Exactly. Well,
that's how we're not getting fat this off season.
Sometimes they make it nicer than us. It's sometimes just nice to have food made for you.
It is. The chicken wings are really nice.
They're
I like the roast ones.
They were alright. Like compared to other chicken wings I've had.
I haven't had nice, like real nice barbecue chicken wings in what feels like about 5 years. I need to get some sometime soon. But the gyozas were great. They are always good.
Yeah, duck ones are okay.
He's fucking hard to please.
Well, the chicken ones are nice. Duck, not so much. Underwhelming. They set the expectations up here. It doesn't meet the expectation, automatically. You're just down here, so.
Someone's fucking picky. Anyways, I thought it was delicious. POV, you are literally going to Ibiza for like 5-6 days, and you have to pack basically your entire home. It's Sunday morning now, and I'm just gonna finish my packing. I've been kind of doing the whole process of packing for a while. As you can see, a lot of glitter, and there's a lot of small outfits. For anybody who doesn't know or who hasn't followed me for a while, a long time, before I was a fitness person and a bodybuilder, I was a rave baby. I used to just go to raves every weekend. I would spend my summers going to festivals. That was what I did. That was what my whole Instagram was. It's so funny because I get people say to me that they followed me the whole time. It's been so interesting to see the transition. But that part of me is still strong. So I'm really excited because this is what me and Shane do. We don't go out ever, and then we go mental. Usually for a festival 2 or 3 days. This is going to be a bit more intense, but I'm so ready for my holiday, like I said. But I actually wanted to talk about something really fucking important, I think, in this video, because obviously I'm going on holidays, right? I've been actively gaining weight for the last 3 months. I've been in a surplus, which is basically the opposite of what most people do when they're going on holidays, especially to Ibiza. Everybody fucking wants to get shredded for Ibiza. And it's so interesting for me because the last time I went to Ibiza, which was 5 years ago in 2019, it was basically at the back end of my very first successful diet. So I basically dieted from the middle of February until the first week of September. The first week, that's a prep. And I was pretty fucking on it. I have to say I had a few holidays and festivals and shit throughout the summer, but I really took it seriously because it was the first time I ever dieted with a coach and actually was able to do it properly, like I said. So by the time I went away, don't get me wrong, I was the leanest I'd ever been. I'll put some pictures on the screen. Obviously I dieted away a good bit of my muscle, and looking back now compared to how lean I've gotten, say for comps and stuff, it's nothing. But, you know, I was so fucking proud of it. But I don't think it actually made me enjoy my holiday anymore, which is so fucking important for me to say. Like, I spent that holiday obsessed by how I looked, because that was like the end goal, right? Like, it was like, okay, I'm gonna keep dieting until I go to Ibiza. And I remember even before going away, I was putting all this pressure on myself that I had to look a certain way. When I was there, I was like worrying, did my outfit still look good? Can you still see my abs? Like, I was so obsessed. And then I also, because I naturally had been dieting for so long, was so fucking food focused. I was like eating cookies, like I couldn't stop. I mean, there was times like obviously couldn't eat much, but there was other times like I couldn't stop eating. I'd like go to the shops, buy food. When I came home, all I could think about was the food I wanted to eat, and it's just so different now to how I feel going away. Like, obviously it's been 5 years. I have a lot more muscle, so you know, I know I still look good, and like, this is not me saying that I'm going away like out of shape. I know, to like the average person, like, I am in really good shape. Like, I have somewhat visible abs and stuff, but obviously I'm a little bit chunkier than I was maybe a few months ago. But I also am so much more relaxed going away. Like, I'm not, like, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying putting my outfits together. I'm excited for that, but I'm not like just obsessed by it, right? Like, I'm not like, oh my god, it really matters how I look. Like, I know I'm gonna look fine. I also am not food focused. Like, I know we'll go away, like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to go away and not track for a week and just like chill, but I'm not thinking about all the food I want to eat. Like, if anything, I know I'm gonna have to force myself to eat to actually keep my calories in a somewhat decent position. But like, it just is so freeing. And I have this conversation a lot with clients. I don't think there's anything wrong with dieting for a holiday. If you want to diet for a holiday, fucking do it, right? If you want to feel good going away and you know that being a bit leaner is gonna do that, fucking do it. You're an adult, you can choose how you want to fucking look. But don't assume that dieting is going to make you enjoy it more, and don't assume that not dieting is going to make you enjoy it less, right? Because you're like, my holiday is not about how I look, you know. Obviously Ibiza, like, it's more of like a chance to dress up and shit like that, but like, when you're actually on your holidays, like, people spend so long obsessing of like, am I going to look good on my holidays? And when you're actually on your holidays, like, you're not really, it doesn't really affect you, right? Like, think about, if you're on holidays, do you spend your entire vacation like looking at other people and being like, do they look good? Does she look good? Or should she be wearing that? Like, no. Like, it doesn't really affect your enjoyment of it. Which, like, I know is maybe hypocritical because I'm a fucking coach. I literally help people with this. But I just think it's important to say. So, yeah, basically, diet if you want, but don't assume that you have to, and don't assume that it's going to instantly make you feel better. Like, don't get me wrong, it's great to put the work in and feel proud of that, but you can't take it too far, like I did in 2019. So yeah, either way, so I'm gonna, today's job is like attempt to finish, or like get all that packed and ready to go, because Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays for me are like very full on with check-ins and shit like that, and I've got like some appointments, so I literally don't have time to pack. So packing has to get done today. I need to clean out my makeup brushes, just kind of solidify my outfits and shit like that. And I'm also going to train glutes and hamstrings, which I'm going to like film that, record that, and I think I'm going to do a voiceover just so it's a bit more like in depth. I want to give a bit more like information in my workout videos. But yeah, I've already got like most of this vlog edited this morning, which I'm buzzing with. I obviously still got a few things to add in and shit, but look at me. I'm so fucking good at this editing game. It's fucking easy. Alright, we are off to train legs again. We're training glutes and hamstrings today. So I think I'm going to do like a voiceover. So I'm just going to record the session and then I'll explain what I'm doing later on. We're not at wearing mics yet. I'll get to mic'd up workouts in like a few months. He's having trouble closing the boot. Alright, here we fucking go. This is my first session of the week. So it's hamstrings and glutes. I always start my week of training on a Sunday. I've been doing that for years. Something just feels good about it. Always legs as well. I mean, pretty easy to start your week with leg day when you do legs 4 days a week. So I basically do 2 hamstrings and glute sessions, and then I do 2 sessions that are a bit more quad focused. I hit glutes pretty much every single day, and my volume is definitely higher for my hamstrings and my glutes at the moment versus my quads, just because my quads are dominant. Like they're still not, like they're not ginormous. It's not like they don't need to grow, but my hamstrings and my glutes definitely need to grow more. And that's just because I am actually quad dominant. Like there's lots of girls who are like, oh my God, I'm so quad dominant, and they're not. They just hold their fat there. I genuinely have big muscular quads. Just, I did horse riding for years, so I always attribute it to that, but also just I love training quads, and I can go really fucking hard on quads. Whereas when it comes to glute and hamstring training, I do have to think about it a little bit more. Also, when I was training for figure, I just did not that much glute training, like maybe 4 to 6 direct sets a week. Whereas now I think between hamstrings and glutes, I'm doing like 30 sets a week. So it's a lot, but I can recover from it well. I will say today, doing this lying leg curl, my hamstrings were pretty fucking toasted, but I'm coming to the end of a training block, so I can't be surprised. So yes, I'm starting off with the lying hamstring curl. You will notice I tend to start a lot of my sessions, pretty much every single session, with some sort of an isolation movement. So there's a few reasons for that. It's something that I've been doing for a long time, and I program it as well for clients. One, it just gives you a chance to actually like warm up the muscle group and take it through that full range of motion prior to doing any sort of big compound. I find it doesn't take away from the compound, but it means I can give a little bit more accuracy and intensity to that isolation. So if we're looking at something like this lying hamstring curl, it's challenging in that shortened position, right? So it's challenging to contract the hamstring fully at the top, okay? Now, the more fatigued you get throughout a session, the harder and harder it is going to be to continue fully contracting the muscle and getting it into that shortened position. So by doing the isolation first, I can ensure I am fully getting it into that shortened position and maximizing the stimulus that I'm getting there before I move on to a more lengthened range bias exercise like an RDL, okay? So I do 3 sets here, and like I said, my hamstrings are toasted today. They were really fucking sore. Main things I'm thinking about with a lying hamstring curl. So I'm holding onto those handles, and I'm really thinking about pulling up to keep my body locked in and to keep my upper body locked in. You have to remember that pad or the weight is trying to pull you back, and it's also trying to pull you down at different points. So here it's trying to pull me back, and the other place is trying to pull me down. I'm not really good at explaining that. I know what I mean in my head, but basically the weight is trying to pull you backwards. So you want to resist that by creating a lot of tension through your arms and through your lats to keep you stabilized, and also thinking about driving your quads into the pad to prevent your hips from rising up. You will see I have a little bit of hips rising here. It's nothing too excessive, and it stays the same from the very start to the very end. It's impossible to not let your pelvis move here. It's going to move. Like, your pelvis has to move in order to get the hamstring fully contracted, but we don't want any excessive hip shifting, okay? And I know myself in a lying hamstring curl when I have failed, because I can feel if I want to get the rep, if I want to go for that last rep, if I know I'm going to have to arch my back to get it, I failed. And so I always stop the set there. Okay. So like I said, main cues is just like pulling up hard against those handles, driving the quads into the pad, squeezing the glutes, slight pause in the end range, and then slight pause at the top in the contracted position as well. And Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. That's the lying hamstring curl done. Next up, I have the Smith machine RDL. So I'm actually a very strong deadlifter. Back when I was training for figure, I would literally deadlift like 150 kilos for reps, but I never had like the best glutes because I use my erectors a lot and like my quads to drive it as well. So I was barbell RDLing for a while, but honestly, I just kept getting pissed off at it. And an issue I would have is my right shoulder would always like drop forward, which is something that I need to work on, but it was taking away from my ability to actually do the movement and get adequate stimulus to the glutes. So I switched these to the Smith machine RDL, and I've been really enjoying it. I don't have to work as hard to keep that right shoulder blade in position, which means I do feel like it's actually like my glutes and hamstrings failing. I do still like fatigue kind of through the upper back and through the erectors, but I can definitely keep this a lot more on my glutes, and I don't have to go like as heavy. You'll see here I'm standing on the step. It's just because this is one of those annoying fucking Smith machines where the stoppers stop really high. It's so frustrating because I'd love to do Smith machine hip thrusts here, but I can't, which is annoying. And so I just basically set it so that the bar is traveling like directly down my leg. Actually, this first set, I think I had my feet a teeny bit too far forward, but it is what it is. I did bring them slightly back for the second set. What I like to think about here is, main thing, you're not thinking down and up, you're thinking hips back, slight pause in the bottom, and then driving those hips forward. Another cue that I've been using for a lot of movements, especially any hinges like this and my B stance RDLs, is driving up through that big toe. It's something that I've seen Aldo from Iron University talking about a lot, and I don't agree with everything he says. He's a bit fucking weird, but the big toe cue, it fucking works. So I almost think as if I'm like pulling up through my big toe. It's kind of hard to explain, but it makes sense in my head. Like a lot of the stuff that I'm going to do today. Some things I can't give a direct explanation for why I do it, but it just feels good and I get a good stimulus from it. But this was my first set, so it was 45 kilos per side. And last week I got 9 reps. This week I got 11 reps. So my rep range here is 8 to 10 and then 11 to 15. So what I actually did for my second set is just leave the 45 kilos on, and I then did it for a second set, and I think I got like 9. So rather than bringing the load down, because I'd already hit that upper end of the rep range, right? But I also didn't want to just like increase the load. This is an exercise, any sort of hinge, any sort of RDL, I am quite slow with my progressions these days, because like I said, I can be really fucking strong at deadlifting, but I end up using my erectors, and I don't need big erectors, I need fucking massive glutes. So anything I can do to make it more accurate, I will do so. And I think just like taking my time with adding weight to these has made a big difference. So just the 2 sets here, and my hamstrings and my glutes were cooked. I will say these have been feeling really fucking good lately. It took me a while, and that's why like don't swap exercises or just give up exercises for the sake of it. Like some exercises, it will take you fucking weeks and months to really nail them down. Just be patient, right? It's any skill. Training is a skill. You wouldn't expect to be fluent in Spanish a week after learning it. It's the exact same with your exercises. That's why I rarely change my programs. Like it's changed twice in the last like year, I think, and that's just because of it needing to change for specificity. I have no idea how to say that word right now, for my class and for what I need to grow, like for my criteria. Next, we have 3 sets on the Bodybuilder. This is a machine that I was always like, nope, not a fan, don't like it. I always preferred the Nautilus hip thrust. I'm not a fan of a barbell hip thrust, to be honest. I fucking hate doing them. I love a Smith machine hip thrust, like I said, but none of the Smith machines in the gyms that I use here I can do a hip thrust on, just because of how they have the stoppers. But they have the Bodybuilder, and I tried it, and honestly, I come off this thing feeling like I've got 2 walnuts on my bum cheeks. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but pumped, like it fucking hurts. It's so humbling as well. I mean, it's the fact I'm doing 30 kilos a side and I felt ruined by the end of it. So one thing that I've been doing here recently that I've felt just made it feel so good is when I'm coming down into the bottom of the rep, I think about sinking back onto my heels, and then as I drive back up, I think about pushing through the big toe again. And like I said, for whatever reason, I think it's just because it's driving a little bit of internal rotation, which means your glutes are going to be the primary movers then, versus something like your hamstrings or your adductors or even your quads here. But just driving up through the big toe, it makes such a difference. And the main like really important thing with any sort of a hip thrust, glute bridge, you must make sure you're coming up into full hip extension. There's no point doing these and doing like half or 3/4 reps. These exercises, these bridge exercises, are heaviest, or not heaviest, they're most challenging at the top position, right, where the glutes are contracted and shortened. So you need to make sure you're getting into that shortened position. So I almost try and overemphasize like coming as far up as I can. I think about squeezing my glutes from the bottom to reverse the direction, and squeezing like literally squeeze like your life fucking depends on it coming into the top here. And you'll see like I'm coming up pretty fucking high, and as soon as I stop coming up to that same amount of hip extension, I call the set, because again, I have failed. There's no point in just doing a load of extra like half reps, because the challenge to the glutes at that position, it's really not that high. So there's not really any need. So yeah, love this. Booty pump, be real. But the 3 sets, fuck me. Like you'll notice I do 2 sets for a lot of exercises, but for a lot of my glutes and hamstrings exercise these days, I'm doing 3. Again, I need more of those, and we're dedicating more volume towards those body parts. But Jesus, if I ain't toast off the end of it. Shock, she's doing more glutes. So I have 3 sets here on the hyperextension. So you will notice I have a foam roller at my hips here. Now, this is something that I saw Charlotte Ellis doing. She's an IFBB Bikini Pro. And I was just really intrigued, and I messaged her about it, and she said doing it this way, she like doesn't really feel her hamstrings, and that's something I've always struggled with on a hyperextension, because yeah, your hamstrings are moving. Here's the thing, like your hamstrings are lengthening and contracting, but I always felt like I was failing these because of my hamstrings and not my glutes. So I was like, I'm just gonna give it a go, and fuck me, she's dead right. Like, I really don't feel like I fail this now because of my hamstrings. I feel like it is a lot more glutes. I don't know why. And again, like I said, there's some things that I do and I can't give a fucking scientific explanation for why I do it. It just feels good, and I feel like I get more stimulus to the muscle, and sometimes that's enough, right? Like not everything has to have a fucking research paper behind it. So you'll also notice here I'm going pretty light. I only do 15 kilos because again, I could probably do like a lot heavier, but I'd be using a lot of erectors. I'm really thinking about like driving my heels or the backs of my ankles up into the pad hard. Again, I'm kind of driving through my big toe here and trying to keep my lower back like neutral, not letting that like flex and extend as much as possible. This is just an exercise. I was doing loads of kickbacks and I just got a bit sick of doing kickbacks 3 days a week, so I swapped kickbacks one day for this, just for a slightly different challenge. Again, I like I said earlier, I keep my program super similar the majority of the time, but sometimes I will experiment with things just because it's fun. And you know, I know I'm getting a lot from like all my other exercises, so I feel like if I kind of change some exercises here and there, it ain't the end of the fucking world, you know what I mean? And then we are coming into hamstring curls, standing hamstring curls. So standing single leg hamstring curls. This is actually a move, I'm gonna say quite a new movement. I've been doing it for like 3 months now. I've never really run this particular variation of a hamstring curl before with any sort of consistency, so it's so humbling. The first time I ever did it, I was like, wow, I can literally do 7 kilos. We're up to 14 kilos now strong. So again, this is an exercise that it would be quite easy to go a lot heavier and throw the weight up super quickly and end up, you know, arching at the lower back a lot to get the weight up. But that's then not the hamstring working, right? And again, we also remember, like, whenever we're looking at an exercise, you want the target muscle to be the thing that is doing the work, not, you know, momentum, not the rest of your body. I see people going like full stack on this and they're literally just throwing that weight up and down, like not a hamstring contraction in sight. So I would rather go lighter and actually feel like I'm using my hamstring. So here I'm thinking about scooping my heel back and then coming up. I'm also not coming up, you'll see, like I'm coming up to about 90 degrees, because at 90 degrees of knee flexion, that's that hamstring fully contracted. You don't need to bring it up any further. That's just going to be it's going to be driven by movement at passive structures around the knee, like the joints, the ligaments, the tendons, not the joints, well, the ligaments and the tendons, right? So again, we want to keep stimulus tension on the muscle the whole time. And I'm also thinking about driving the quad into the pad and then squeezing the glute as well. And that just keeps my hips locked in position here. At the end of my second set on these, I only do two sets of 10 to 15, I believe. I will do a set of lengthened partials. Well, not a set. I will extend the set by doing lengthened partials. So these are like all the rage at the moment. Loads of people are talking about them. But basically, once I fail in the shortened position, once I can no longer get the muscle fully contracted, I will do a couple of reps in that like bottom part of the lift. We know that we get a lot of hypertrophy potential from this. It's just a little bit of an intensifier to add in. I do a lot of intensifiers when I'm in a surplus. Like I try to keep them to a minimum when I'm dieting, but you know, I've got the recovery, I have the ability to do these things and not be absolutely ruined from them. So that is what I do. 3 sets of delts then. So with lateral raises, I just kind of do whatever variation I feel like on the day, to be honest. I just more so focus on getting a pump. I love a crucifix lateral raise, but I can't always use the dual cable stack because sometimes there's people on it. So sometimes I'll just do like a single arm standing, or sometimes I'll do dumbbells. But if I can do this, I love it. This is like a proper OG Muscle Mentors 2019 type exercise. The cuffs are One or More. I actually have not mentioned that in this video, but I am a One or More sponsored athlete, so they are the brand that I use for like all of my fucking lifting gear, like straps, knee sleeves, cuffs, anything like that. So if you do ever want to get anything from them and support your gal, you can use my discount code Emma10 because their stuff is really fucking good. I've literally been using, like when I was asked to be an athlete, I was like, yeah, sick, I already own literally everything that you make. So it's pretty cool. So the cuffs, I just like using them. I don't like holding a handle here. I like to think about bringing my wrists out to the corners of the room here. that's really it. There's not too much else to say about these. Everybody needs more delts. It doesn't really matter what category you are. You gotta have some cap delts, but that's what I do here. And we are finally on to the last exercise, which is the hip abductor. So you will see here I am sitting on a squat ramp. Well, I'm sitting on 2 squat ramps actually. This is something that, again, I started doing it a couple of months ago. I saw it on Aldo's page and it just feels good. I just feel like I get a better contraction in my actual glute medius when I do this versus when I'm sitting down flat. That's, again, with so much of like training and exercise, like we're all built differently, so what works for one person won't work for another, but I do enjoy this. This is obviously the prime abductor, so I use this on setting 5, which means it's most challenging through that lengthen to mid range, so at the bottom here, and then it drops off a little bit in the contraction. This is just the setting I found that actually feels the best. Again, I've played around with all of them, but some of them just feel a bit weird. Sometimes with prime stuff I love it, and then other times I'm just like, I overthink how I have it set, so I just leave it at setting 5 and I do one normal set here and then I do one double drop set. So I'll do my set to failure, drop the weight, go to failure, drop the weight, go to failure. Main thing with these is you really just want to be controlling the actual rep. Like a lot of girls and boys, whoever does this, will really like just like throw their legs out quite quickly. We don't want to do that. Don't be flinging your legs out. Actually think about squeezing the glutes and then squeeze the glutes as you control the weight back down, slight pause, and then start the rep again. So yeah, that's these, finishing off the booty pump, and that is pretty much the workout done. I have some clips of me being vain and posing because I felt kind of good today, which is nice. So yeah, God, this is long. For anybody who's actually listened to this, fair fucking play. I hope I've given you even a tiny bit of value and information. Okay, my job for the rest of the day is to sort through these things, decide what I'm definitely bringing, what I'm maybe not bringing, and finish packing. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the video here. I'm just going to spend the rest of the day packing, editing this video, and just making sure that I have everything ready to go for next week. I'm so excited. So the next time I vlog will be post Ibiza. I am not bringing this camera on that trip. There's going to be lots of things that are not for the internet. So I think I'm going to do how I get back on track after a week of raving. So yeah, I will catch you on the other side. Of course, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment down below if you like me, and of course share the video on your socials and tag me at Emma.Curvin. I will be super appreciative. Thank you.